Let's meet an inspiring individual with a fascinating career. I'm Kate Save. The Inspired CEO starts now. Welcome to The Inspired CEO, where each episode we explore the innovative wellness practices that are driving success and longevity in the modern business world. In this episode, we talk all things wellness with a multifaceted health expert. Joining me now is doctor, best-selling author and international speaker, Dr. John Tickell. Thank you, John. Thank you for coming to Tickell today. And I want to know, what has inspired you to have such a diverse career? A medical doctor, an international speaker, a published author, and also you played football too. Tell me about your career and why it's so diverse.
Well, Kate, thank you for me being here. I started off at school as a young boy, as we all do. And when I graduated from grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I went to a school called Trinity Grammar.
Yes.
And as I got to what we used to call then as intermediate and leaving and matriculation, I think the years 9, 11, 10, 12, that
Yes.
sort of thing, my teachers started to tell me that I had some ability, whatever that is, to explain things in simple words. So one of my teachers took me aside after a class one day and said, "You know what, John, I think when you grow up you could be a teacher." And so I thought about that for a while, and when I graduated from school, most of the students who got lots of marks wanted to go to university.
Yes. And
my best friend said, "Hey, I've got enough marks to get into medicine." I said, "Well done you." And he said, "Why don't you be a doctor with me?" And I said, I didn't know how many marks you needed to be, so I had too many marks to be a teacher, sort of. So I joined him, and then 6 years later graduated as a medical doctor.
Incredible. And this passion for health and wellness, where did that come from? Because it's very different to just get a good score and know that you're going to go into university, but to become a medical doctor is a huge commitment and a very long training schedule as well.
Yeah, well, when you get to the end of the 6 years, you're still sort of a nobody. You've got this piece of paper that says you're a medical doctor, and then you've got to decide whether to go into general practice or a specialty like a surgeon or a gynecologist or a skin specialist or something, and then it's another 3, 4, 5 years. And I thought to myself, well, I haven't got very much money, so, my car at the moment was a beaten up, ever heard of a Morris Minor?
They're
about that big, and so I thought I need to earn some money. So I was a resident. You have to be a resident in hospitals, the Royal Melbourne Hospital, and then Panch, Preston and Northcote Community Hospital for 2 years, so that you learn all these things about emergency medicine. I think they call that. It used to be called casualty. Now it's the emergency.
Yes.
And that's when people come in either with a burst appendix, or they've stood on a nail, or they've got a cough or a cold. So you get a diverse range of learnings, and then after 2 years you decide whether to become a specialist or a GP. And I decided that I'd become a general practitioner.
Yes.
And set up a practice from scratch with a couple of my mates. So Whittlesea is a place north of Melbourne, and that's when it all happened. But inspiration wasn't part of the vocabulary then. It was just seeing people who were sick and giving them something, whether it's advice or a prescription. Yes. But after a few years being a GP, I thought, why are so many people coming in here? Because they're expecting me to write a thing to go to the chemist and get some drugs. And I thought, see, my little brother died of meningitis when he was 7 months old. And my mum said, she sort of blamed doctors because they said, oh, it's a little baby and he's vomiting, lots of babies vomit and all that sort of stuff. And then he ended up in the Royal Children's Hospital and he died within a few hours because they didn't in those days, they weren't able to decide which bacteria was causing this meningitis and what antibiotic to give him. So I was thinking to myself, why did my little brother get meningitis? I mean, is there some way? And then I learned there was a word called immunity.
Yes.
So, and then I started reading books, and I went to a little conference in California on a jumbo jet.
Yes.
I was scared. Am I allowed to say? No, I won't. I went on a Pan American jumbo. And I listened to this guy in his 80s, and he was talking about things we should do, like walk around the block and eat good food. I'm saying, what do you mean good food? And he said, natural food, you know, food that grows in the ground or you pick off trees and stuff. Because he said most of the food in America today is what I call junk food.
Yes.
And isn't it, it's realistic, Kate. I mean, you know, you've started this brilliant company called Be Fit Food. So food can make you fit, but it can also keep you healthy.
Yes.
So your risk of getting heart attacks or meningitis or diabetes is way down there instead of way up there. So why are all our common diseases now, most of them are preventable?
Lifestyle induced, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I think in your journey as well, you've had your own challenges and even own health challenges as well. Tell us about that and how you're also human, not just a medical doctor.
Oh, you mean doctors aren't human?
Well, that's what people think, that if you can write a script, you won't get sick.
Well, I stopped writing so many scripts and I just talked to people who had a cold or something. I say, well, it's, you know, in the winter, our resistance drops and your immune system is struggling to cope. So you need to eat some fresh food,
Yes.
you know, go to the grocery shop or the supermarket and buy some, you know, nothing. See, most food now has a label on it, and the more things on the label, the worse it is for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I say fruit and vegetables don't have labels. And people say, how do I know what's in it? I say, because it was created for us to be healthy.
That's
so
right.
buy more of those and less of those things in, you know, packets and tins. I mean, the perfect example today is cereals. Low fat, that means there's a heap of sugar in it, all that
That's
sort of
right.
stuff, and more salt. And so this guy impressed on me, you've got to be active.
Yes.
And I said, sir, do you mean exercise? He said, well, yeah, if you want to call it exercise, you can. I call it active. See, he taught me you're born with 600 muscles and 180 joints.
Yes.
You were created to move. That's be active.
That's
So
right.
what do we do today? We sit there, when we were little kids now, we sit there playing with our phones. When I was a little kid, I was out playing mud pies in the gutter and kicking the footy, getting an immune system from getting dirty. But now you've got ads for something, we kill 99.99999% of bacteria.
Well, you're living proof of using the immunity diet, and you've written a book about this. What do you share in common with Lance Armstrong that other people would not know?
Lance Armstrong created his own health arena and he got brain cancer.
Yes.
Now, the only difference between Lance Armstrong and me is we're both still alive from having had brain cancer. Lance has been alive 18 years and I've been alive 15 years, but he's won 7 Tour de France's and I haven't. So these things go in cycles. So he was the spokesman. He was the bike rider that won everything. And then people said, how's he that good? It's a bit like some of the swimmers win by this much instead of that much. How are they that good? And so then the drug testing started. And so drugs were invented to heal us, but then there's things called high performance drugs, which have become illegal because it makes you compete on the sporting field
Yes.
or in the pool and all those sort of things. So drugs have been an important instrument. Like I chose a new immunotherapy drug. Kate, you've heard of vaccines. There's people say, oh, no, vaccines have got side effects. But then UNICEF, the World Health Organization, UNICEF, United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, it was invented in 1946. Every year since 1946, vaccinations for whooping cough, polio, smallpox, they're gone.
Yes.
Because vaccinations have saved 2 to 3 million kids every year for the last 70 years. So if we can use our own immune system, the skills you need to boost your own immune system, I call them the ACE skills. So if you're playing cards, the most important cards are the ACEs.
Yes.
The ACEs of life are activity, coping, they call it stress management now,
Yes.
and eating.
And you were living proof. So in hospital, what did you ask your beautiful wife, Sue, to do for you every day?
Well, I couldn't eat the hospital food. It was all full of sugar and, and fat and all that sort of stuff. So I said to Sue, can you bring in me some, some veggies every night? And she started cooking me at least 10 veggies every night with a little bit of meat or fish or chicken, especially fish, because fish has got those old acids and antioxidants and all those sort of things. So we don't eat enough fish. And people say, yeah, but they've got hormones in them. I said, not the fish caught out there, all that sort of stuff. So, you see, there's a thing in life, Kate, called HI, human interference.
Yes.
I give myself, and I tell all my clients and patients and people that follow my little rules, human interference. So if you look at a food or a drink for 6 seconds and work out how much a human being has interfered with the food.
That's right.
Have they picked it or pulled it out of the earth or something?
Yeah, food doesn't start bad, it's what gets done to that food.
Yeah.
And you are living success and living proof of eating well, and your 10 vegetables a day actually helped you recover.
10 plant foods a day.
Yeah.
So if you break your fast, people say, what are you talking about? I say, breakfast. Breakfast used to be 2 words 200 years ago. Then somebody in a hurry put the words together and called it breakfast. It's break fast. Yeah. So you're breaking your fast for 17 hours between dinner and lunch. So if you don't break your fast, everything's empty in there and the peristalsis of your intestines slows down and you get constipated and all that. So it's a good idea to break your fast with some fibrous food, fibre. That's the fibre is the carbohydrate that can't be digested. There's soluble fibre and insoluble fibre, and that helps sponge all the cholesterol and stuff, all the toxins out of your intestines, and keeps you... See, after we get to 60, 65, you go to the rest homes, retirement villages. Oh, by the way, retire. What a stupid word. You're tired. Why would you want to get retired?
Yes.
So you go into the retirement village, what do? Sit there and watch TV. And then you have a...
You're the inspiration. You've shared your journey of how you've overcome brain tumours, 5 brain tumours, I believe it was. Yeah. You've stayed fit and healthy. You're still working, you're still speaking, you're still writing books.
I don't call it working because I love life and I love helping people. I mean, I had my own TV show across America on PBS for millions of viewers and everything. But I mean, my best life is getting people telling me in the street. There was a lady in a coffee lounge this morning and said, you saved my life. Because I said, why? She said, you were speaking at a conference 15 years ago and you said one thing that changed my life. I said, what did I say? She said, you can't be intelligent and smoke at the same time.
There you go. Well done, John. Thank you so much for sharing your lifestyle and what you do. And I hope our listeners take a lot from this today. Yeah. So this is Tickell, and we will be right back.
You're watching Tickell. We'll have more in just a few minutes.